You're listening to Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. I'm Brianna Valesky here with Joel Elkanah, and we have Rachel Shasha on the line. She's an options trader for SassyOptions.com, writer for The Street, guest on Fox Business and Into Fitness. Rachel, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Thanks for having me on.
So the last time we had you on, I believe, was literally the day of the first annual Benzinga FinTech Awards, and you were there. I mean, how'd you like it?
It was awesome. If you guys have it next year or other kind of things, I recommend everyone should go.
Great, thank you. So let's jump into the show. I mean, this morning we've got a couple of movers going around. There's news coming out of GoPro that they're going to get into the drone space. I mean, what's your long and short-term outlook for GoPro?
Honestly, for my long term, I really don't know because I still have yet to embrace the technology of it. And I feel like, I don't know, Apple can just, wipe them out of the waters if they decide to do something. But short term, the chart is looking good. And, kind of forming a little cup and handle or can and handle, whatever you want to call those. And now it's breaking above the resistance of around 47. So I think as long as it stays above there, it's going to be, a decent trade.
Okay. We're also looking at Michael Kors. Kind of got rocked this week after some pretty poor earnings reports. And do you have any opinion either way on Michael Kors?
I'd stay away. I don't see the reason, and I'm sure there's going to be bounces. Don't need to be involved in these random bounces to scalp anything. Obviously, retail in that respect, that kind of retail is not doing very well. Fossil, Kors, Jack, they're all starting to top. It seems like I don't know where people are putting their money, but it's not there.
All right, Rachel, what do you think is the first stock I'm going to ask you about?
GS. Go with that.
Right. And last time you were on, I remember talking your long term, and you were saying as long as it holds 195, you liked it. So are you still playing it that way? Firmly back over 200. Do you have anything from your Goldman Sachs option indicator you'd like to tell our listeners about?
It's been on fire. No, it's been a monster. I'm so upset with myself. I did bought it yesterday, just options, weekly options. Totally got shaken out of it yesterday morning. I bought it on Monday or Tuesday, and right at the bottom, and in weekly options, and then totally just got shaken out of it.
What shook you out of it? I mean, the SPOOs were pretty strong yesterday. I mean, I think a lot of people, and Dennis and I were kind of talking about it too, like the 2-day move in the market. You had the big move down on Tuesday, and the SPOOs were just kind of hanging up here. Was it the overall market that got you out, or was it something in the technicals that you just?
It's the overall market. I think it just puts you on edge. These they're not random, I guess, but when it's so intraday or whatever, it's just like up and down, up and down, and I just didn't want to lose money on it. So that's basically what happened. It's better to not lose money on it, I guess, than to.
Yeah, it's just.
I just didn't have conviction. I just was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I've done that. I was talking about a GoPro trade and things I did, and sometimes you just got to just put the blinkers on. I know those weekly options too. I can imagine those weekly options.
Yeah.
Goldman, you could probably drive a truck through the spread, and there's not a not a lot of liquidity. But that's a good point. Let's go to a couple of the momentum stocks here, and Apple's been bouncing around pretty good the last couple days. Little talk about CBS and them hooking up. What are the technicals telling you on Apple?
It's basing just wonderfully since basically since the end of February. It's been basing, and I think it's getting ready for a big move higher. So I don't, I would say in the next few weeks, probably next couple of weeks, it's going to move. And I say it's going to move up. Okay. 135, 140 maybe.
Okay. And Icon's giving that a nice boost too. Let's go to some other former momentum stock here. Twitter just can't seem to catch a bid here after the earnings miss. It kind of got messed up and when the earnings were released earlier. Just kind of dead money here, or what are you looking for in Twitter?
For now, I'm not playing it. For now, to me, it's dead money. I believe in Twitter. I mean, most of us I feel like that use it all the time, believe in it, but for some reason it can't seem to make it work right now. And I think it could still go lower, to be honest. I mean, it might not, and there's rumors left and right, but for me, I don't see a point in playing it. It's just too, I mean, it's just dead money right now. And until something, goes on with it, until it starts to pop its head back up or find a better bottom, I'm really not interested.
Okay. All right. Coming out of the chat, Rob Hood is asking about Alta, ULTA. Is that something you'd take a look at?
Well, the chart looks phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
It does. I mean, it looks like it's setting us to just rip higher. But my only thought is it kind of goes the same line as Coors kind of shoppers. So maybe that's what people are buying. Maybe they're buying more makeup. I don't know. And the Bollinger Bands are tight, and it looks like it's ready to break out. But I would be hesitant just because, I don't know where people are putting their money. And I'll tell you, for me as a female, I'm not at Ulta. But then again, I'm not like a huge makeup person. But still, I don't frequent Ulta, or I don't know my friends frequenting Ulta. So
they have those in the big city. Yeah, because I know they have one in our area. Are they all over New York?
I don't even know, to be honest. I mean, if I wanted to order, I'd probably just do something online. I don't even know if they're in New York. I would just think so, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I would look at it too. I mean, it's been in a tight range between 150 and 155 here, and this is a weekly chart, so long consolidation here. You can see how long it's been here. I guess if you're playing the breakout here, I think maybe you have to kind of hit the exit under 150, but long-term consolidation here after a nice run up. So
I think they have earnings coming up too, right? Aren't they usually late in the cycle?
You know what? I don't have that in front of me, but I will take a look here to see when Alta has earnings. Right? You need a catalyst for a stock.
Right. I feel like that will be the make or break.
We are looking at the 28th. You're right. Good call today. So it must be after hours here. So potential play. Way to go there, Rachel. Let's take a look. I mean, does anybody talk about Google anymore? I mean, do you trade it? Do you look Goog or Google? What's your preference?
Google. And it's frustrating. To be honest, I have been trading it unsuccessfully. It seems to not want to go. But then you have to look back. If you look back at a weekly, it went pretty much straight up from the middle of 2012 to 2014. So, when you look at it that way, then it kind of puts things in perspective, and you're like, all right. So yeah, it's kind of flatlined for the last year and a half, but it had a huge move higher. So I don't know. I think right now I'm still bullish on the name. I think it's consolidating, and I guess if it can finally get over, 600, it's probably going to put in a big move.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like they're venturing out into different things, and the car, the Google Glass. I mean, obviously they still have their dominance in search, but they made a lot of good acquisitions. Perhaps monetizing YouTube would be something that would kickstart it. The whole splitting of the stock was something that I just just really made no sense. Whenever I look at the stock, I have to look at the Goog and then the Google and then add the two together to see actually where it's at. Let's talk about ICPT. I know you're in that thing.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Not anymore. I am not anymore.
What happened? What got you out?
I took my profits after that day. So I had already taken a quarter out for a nice profit. And then, because I had January calls. And then after that nasty day where the thing is I still believe in the company big time, but what they did is they had discussed what their design trial is going to be, and it's way longer and lengthier than I think people expected. It's going to take a few years before any results come out. And I think because of that, the maybe more fickle, non-long-term investors, don't want to wait around for that. So big bad day right there. And on the next day when it popped, I took the rest out. And I will revisit it one day, but not right now.
All right, so you took some of your position off during this run up in May, and then you actually you held it through that real bad day, and then got out on the next pop.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Overall, I think I made like a little over 300%.
Oh, really? And you still even after that big drop, huh? You must have.
Yep.
Wow, that's good. Well, you took the money and you ran, so good for you on that one. That's definitely a volatile issue, and it would be interesting if they, can come around and actually make some money. Let's talk a little bit about the biotechs here, and was just with JC Press. I was looking at the IBB, and boy, this thing has come all the way back. It's hit a resistance point. When you look at a stock like Biogen, I mean, do you think it's just a matter of time before this thing catches a bid here? It's hanging out at the $400 level to head the pullback. What's your outlook on Biogen?
Yes, I do. I think it is a healthy pullback after a pretty big move, and that I mean, it might even have bottomed here already. It looks like it's trying to make its way back up, but I am still bullish of it. I mean, I guess if you look at it, it kind of does look like a Head and Shoulders, but I'm not huge on patterns necessarily like that. And I think, for me, I like to look at the fundamentals of the company as well as the technicals, and I think that it's going to be fine. So I personally wouldn't enter it right now, but I think that if you're a longer term hold, you could start dipping in at least.
Yeah, dip your toe in the water a little bit. Okay, moving on here to some of the other momentum stocks. Boy, LinkedIn has not been able to get off the mat there after that earnings shellacking. Any thoughts on LinkedIn?
I'm bearish on LinkedIn, and maybe it's just my own bias. I do not see what the appeal is of this company at all, and I would only want to play it on short side, not the long.
Yeah, boy. I mean, no bounce half earnings. You just wonder if this is another consolidation and move lower. Speaking of consolidation here, Tesla has had the nice move up off earnings, off the $200 level. I believe Adam Jonas at Morgan Stanley tried to give a little boost yesterday. What do you make of this consolidation here in Tesla Motors?
I'm bullish on it. I think that a little bit more consolidation would be good. Like maybe just a little bit more basing out between 230 and 250, 250, 260, whatever, a little bit more of that, and then I could see it pop 300.
Yeah, what I noticed in this one too, when the market was getting the beats on Tuesday, this was, I think he even had a green session, so we'll keep an eye on that. Coming out of the chat, we're gonna go all the way down to a lower price stock. And do you dabble in lower price stocks at all? I mean, if they're kind of options in and of itself. Mankind, MNKD, trying to develop the inhaler insulin. Went for dead. I actually did a piece on this couple 3-4 days, maybe last week. Goldman Sachs threw the baby out with the bathwater, and that nicked the low of the move. Do you dabble in low price stocks like Mankind? And boy, this is coming into some major resistance.
I don't in Mankind. Some lower price ones, but if you look at the volume bars, it is starting to pick up. So maybe Goldman Sachs has been known to call bonds before accidentally.
Yep,
So,
selling them.
and it did breach the low from April in 2014, and then popped its head right back up. So it could have been a false breakdown, which might lead to a nice little rip.
Yeah,
even more so
mindful
than what it has done.
Yeah, mindful traders looking at this one, and just be mindful of all these highs you had at the 530 level. I'm going back. This was the beginning of April. I'm looking at the dailies: 530, 529, 529, 530, 532, 530 before it broke down. You hit in yesterday's session. You got right up there again to 530. Big volume yesterday. Keeping an eye on that for sure. That's a good level in a low price stock.
I feel like if someone wants to be in this, if you're playing for short term moves, I feel like there's just so many better stocks. Why play Mankind? Like, why not, which is volatile and less liquid? Like, why not play something that's a bigger mover? Even if it is cheap. But I don't know. I just feel like, well, if you want to invest in mankind, great. Then, be an investor if you believe in the company. But I don't know. These moves are so, all over the place with these like less liquid stocks that it's hard to trade, I feel like.
Yeah, less liquid and a pharmaceutical slash biotech. So definitely could be a recipe for disaster. Just moving on here. Merger, Broadcom, AVGO. Do you look for sympathy plays on stuff like that, or you just kind of like, hey, I wasn't loved the Broadcom here, not interested in getting looking for any sympathy plays.
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't in it. I felt like every single person on my Twitter stream somehow was in it, but I apparently missed it. So, yeah, I'm not looking for sympathy cases. But the semis look really good. Maybe a little bit more consolidation, continue to go higher. There might be rotation from them to make, I don't know, maybe the transport, but for now it's working. So if you are in semis, I don't see a reason to exit now.
How much stock do you put in what the street does? I mean, if you're in something, maybe you take a look at it. I mean, we like to talk about the Wall Street ratings and whatnot. Is that just another tool in your toolbox? I mean, you're not apt to make a move based on one of the ratings changes or ratings moves, or are you apt to fade it like some other people I know?
No, I don't. I don't really look at their ratings. I mean, it's irrelevant to me. Sometimes it helps my stock. It's like they rate something and it just pops that day, and it's like, great, I was in that. But it doesn't. I don't care what. I mean, if anything, I'd be more contrarian, but I don't really care what they have to say about it.
How about some of the other financials here? Bank of America, I know it's a lower price stock here. Big seller at the 1680 level. Is Bank of America something you ever dabble in?
I don't, but I am dabbling in Citigroup. They're starting to firm up, so I think that they might do well. Over the next. I mean, I'm not saying maybe right now, because I think that when they start kind of coming out of their bases, it's a little bit up and down and rocky. But and then especially if interest rates stay low, I'm not sure, how much. But I think they are starting to perk up a little bit, and I do like them actually, and I've been playing options here and there with them. So yeah, I think financials are looking good.
Okay, moving on here. Alibaba. What an interesting stock this is. The day before earnings, it makes or 2 days before earnings, makes a new all-time low. Surprises the street with good numbers. Consolidates. Really caught a bid a couple weeks ago. Is Alibaba on your radar at all?
Yeah, I played it a couple weeks ago when it popped. So I think, let it consolidate right here. As long as it doesn't, go back under 86, 85, I think it's fine for more upside. So, maybe just let it base out a little bit right here before the next move higher.
Okay. All right. We'll take a look at that as well. Finally, Netflix here. What a beast. The stock and the street did get this one right. A lot of upgrades, price targets here. Another consolidation phase here. Another consolidation to go higher in Netflix.
Yeah, as long as people keep thinking that it's shortable, I would not short it. It's like one of those stocks, just like when Google did during 2012 to 14. It's just going up and up and up, and all I see is people wanting to short it and short it and short it. So I feel like as long as people keep wanting to short it, it's not going to be a short. I mean, maybe a scalp, but just keep writing it until it's stuck. And besides, there's potential for a buyout, in the next couple of years. So you got to be careful if you're trying to short that. One day it could just, rip in your face.
Who would want them? Who would want them?
I don't know. I mean, maybe Apple, Google. I don't, Amazon. Amazon would be a good candidate, I guess.
All right. Rachel Shasha, she's a trader and blogger at Sassy Options, discussing the market here with us. Rachel, a pleasure as always. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for having me.